Hello, all, and welcome back to Fox Report. Back for a midweek fixture over at Carrow Road. This is the pre-match review: Norwich versus Leicester City. Now, I know all of us had a great weekend following that 4-1 victory against Southampton. Unbelievably, those 4 goals beautifully placed, beautifully set up, and just those give and goes, starting from the back. Maresca's system style of play is beginning to kick in. And of course, this national break did help us a lot because it allowed us time to regroup after a loss against Hull City, fix what needed to be fixed, and then just come again against Southampton, which we did from the start. And of course, Jamie Vardy scoring back on the score sheet. But first, going into the comments, Leicester for life, always here, always appreciated. This will be a test if Maresca is the man. Yes, Norwich is not an easy opponent whatsoever. Similar to Hull City, those two teams, somehow we always struggle, but hopefully we can come again and play like we did against Southampton. How's it going? LCFC Fox, 3-0, McAteer, Ndidi, and Fatu to score. Hope so. LCFC, 1884, Fossey, thoughts on Agun? I'll get to that later on. I do have my say on Agun. NSD FIFA, Vardy is back on the score sheet. Yes, he is. How's it going, Dave? Jamie Maynell, hello, first time here. Welcome. Harry White, Mabdidi on form. Yes, just providing so much ability. Mabdidi taking on players. He had Kyle Walker-Peters on the back of his wrist. Like he was just owning him. Flicks, tricks, all that. Santa Claus, how's it going? It's almost time. Almost your time. But yes, we go into Carrow Road against a pretty impressive Norwich side. Looking back at their fixtures, surprisingly, I have a friend that's a Norwich fan, and even he is surprised that Norwich has started off so well, so good, only just one position below us if the score remains as it's going right now. Ipswich versus Southampton. They are losing. Southampton losing 1-0 to Ipswich. And right now, at the moment, Ipswich are in first place with 18 points. If you ask me if Ipswich were going to be those teams to compete with us, I'd tell you, yeah, maybe not. But here they are. Going back into the comments, I will deliver you a win tomorrow. Please. I'll accept anything. 1 goal difference, doesn't matter. All 3 points is what we want. Preston top still. Yes. So let me go ahead and share that with you guys right now as it is. Preston leading that match against Southampton 1-0, pushing them up to 18 points. Ipswich and then Preston in second place with currently 1-1 against Birmingham. And we lie right now, if all results remain, in third place, just above, one position above Norwich. So yeah, it's still early on in the season, but of course we want to be maintaining ourselves within the top 2 because, as we know, top 2 qualifies directly back into the Premier League. Byron, how's it going? Hello from Mexico. Hello, Santa Claus. Please give us a win. Yes, honestly, Santa Claus, give us that win. We need it. But going into what I saw from the video that Leicester City put up on YouTube of just training, prior to this match against Norwich, the squad looks replenished. And based off the press conference that Maresca had today, talking about this match tomorrow, everyone seems to be fit. No new injuries, thankfully. That's what we want to see. Obviously, give it our all during the matches with the hopes that no one, gets a knock and we end up, losing players. But so far, so good. We have a match every 3 days now, all the way until the next international break. So it's going to get quite hefty. Duck, how's it going? Harry White, I still can't believe Ken is still injured. Yeah, that was a weird one. It was expected that he wasn't going to obviously be on top of Kalichi, Nacho, Vardy. He was more so one to kind of be that replacement third, fourth string striker. But still, quite surprising that he's injured. Apparently his back and is out for, I think, like 7 weeks. From what they say, it's early January is the earliest time he may return. But yes, so let's forget about everything that happened on Friday against Southampton. We turned the page. We got the 3 points. And now the Canaries are all who we need to think about. That team, and just based off their schedule, their matches they had prior to this one tomorrow, let's take a look. And let's see. So they began the season against Hull City, defeated Hull City 2-1 at home. Southampton tied 4-4. I saw some highlights there. I think Southampton were leading 4-3, and then Norwich, I think, tied it. But yeah, pretty weird how, they were able to defeat Hull City. We couldn't. They couldn't defeat Southampton, but we could. That explains it's the championship for you. You never know. You can never assume just because you beat a team that another team didn't beat. We'll assume that you can beat this team. There's no logic in the championship, especially with these amount of games coming up every single 3 days. But yes, QPR, they beat QPR away. They beat Millwall. They beat Huddersfield. Like, they had some pretty good games where it was more than one goal. For us, our last match against Southampton was the only time we won by more than one goal. The other ones were just one goal difference. But of course, like I said, there's no logic. Of course, every single game will be different outcome. But yes, a pretty decent start for Norwich. Like I said, only just one position below us. And their last match against Stoke City, I don't know if you guys saw highlights from that match. I did. They were just banging on the door of Stoke. Just numerous shots after shots till they got one. So I can say based off those highlights, they take shots from outside the box. And it's not going above the goal. It's going directly at goal. So that's something that we have to look out for. Going back into the comments, just one sec. Who do you think will be the top 3 this year? Still too early to say. Obviously, one team, that's us, needs to be up there. If I were to go just by what I'm seeing now, I'd say Ipswich and maybe between Norwich and Preston. Leeds are still down there. They had some drama before. I think they're beginning to pick things back up. So who knows where Leeds will be in the next few weeks. But as of right now, it looks like Norwich, Preston, and Ipswich are probably the strongest teams, along with us, competing for those top positions. Cody, a star? I will tell you in a sec as I go into my predicted starting lineup, what I want to see. Hopefully, McAteer can score again. Yes, this player just improving drastically. I've said it so many times before. Massive improvement. I did not see this whatsoever from McAteer. Something happened during the summer, but he is just on it, scoring goals, confidence, taking on players, and we are pretty stacked with wingers. Norwich are doing good, to be fair. Yes, indeed. And just whether they're good or not, they always have been a huge problem for us. Always. It's never easy playing at Norwich, especially over at Carrow Road. By the way, it's all topic, but Madison's doing well for Spurs. Yes, player of the month, I believe, Premier League player of the month. You can't complain, man. He played for us. He's a top player. So certainly it's no surprise that he's doing really well. Jamie Maynell, I'm actually a Norwich fan. Oh, wow. Didn't know that. But welcome along. I can't, like I said, I'm not. This is not a channel where I'm gonna rant off the opponent. I you know I certainly think this will be a tough match, especially Norwich. Good side against us. For some reason, we always struggle against Norwich. Always. Santa Claus, come on, Leicester W. Harry Winks is so underrated. Yes, that is one heck of a bargain we got for Harry Winks coming into the championship. Maresca obviously said some good things, brought him in, and he just comes in only with one mission, that is to get us back into the Premier League. He wants to play Premier League, and you can see he is so just too good for the championship. What else did I say? Okay. Yes. So what positives are we taking to Carrow Road? And that begins with the way we played in our previous match. Finally, the system of Maresca. 1-2s, find the open spaces, those clinical passes, KDH to Casey McAteer for the second goal. That pass itself was so far apart. It was just precise passing and the precise direction. Obviously McAteer coming from the middle of the pitch all the way into the box, and KDH precision finding McAteer ending it beautifully to make it 2-0. So all of these, things that had been happening for those 4 goals, beautifully played. So that system is beginning to function well. And that's the positive, the huge positive we take onto Carrow Road. Going back into the comments, I'm switching into topics and comments. Lots of positives lately. Yes, a lot of positives. And yeah, no one was expecting, honestly, I wasn't expecting to defeat Southampton this easily. I was watching the whole preview of that match on Friday. You have the light show going on, like they're hyping up the fans. They're making it sound like Southampton are just some big side ready to crumble us. But no, we had one focus from the start, and that was to score first. And Jamie Vardy scoring, going to the Southampton fans and just showboating all that, and it just ended off very, very nicely with 3 points. So all of us have a great weekend. So going into the pre-match press conference, talking more about that, Maresca mentions using as many players as he can from now on to the next international break. So, like I said, we have a match every 3 days until the next international break. That's in October. So we can't obviously be starting the same players every single match. We have to rest. And going into that, him mentioning using as many players as we can, and also looking at the training session prior to this match tomorrow, you do see the likes of Harry Suter, Patson, Daka, players that, in my opinion, I believe can still make a big impact to the squad, but it's up to Maresca to actually use them. So if you ask me, we certainly need as many players as we can, and we have to see what we can do because these matches aren't easy every single 3 days. It's going to be tiresome. Players, hopefully, but possibly can get a knock, get injured, and that's something that obviously we want to avoid. And by doing that, we must rotate players. Now, I think Maresca did try to do that against Hull City by taking Mabadidi out, and that was one player that I think perhaps, if we can use them as much as we could on that left wing position, because you do see how much of a difference Mabadidi causes on that left wing. McAteer, can he play left wing? I'd say no. He did try that against Hull City and really not much of an impact there, more on the right side. But going off wingers, we have wingers. We have Mabadidi, we have Matty Vadua, we have McAteer, we have Mark Albrighton, even though I don't think he'll be playing, and we have Fatu. Those players, especially Fatu, pace, precision, can drive the ball and certainly shoot on goal, as we saw against Hull City. Fatu almost had a beautiful debut, but unfortunately that ball hit the post. But yes, we do have stacked wingers. Now, could we perhaps put Fatu on the left side? Would he do well? I don't know. But as far as left wing goes, I think the only player that's caused an impact there is Mavadidi, and him only. We haven't tried Fatu there. And that goes back to the comment by let's see. I think to LCFC 1884 Fossey. Thoughts on Aggun, if I'm saying it right. So I don't think he fits well on either left. Well, actually, we haven't tried him on the left side yet. Kind of was playing center left mid against Southampton. But on the right, not much of an impact. Now, Maresca did start him against Hull City. Didn't do anything. Put him on against Southampton. Not very well either. If anything, let's try him out in the midfield. Perhaps maybe not the left anymore. Maybe like the center or middle right. But so far, nothing to kind of take note of. Based off the press conference, Maresca did say that he rates Aggun, and we just have to see. But at the moment, nothing that I personally saw from him that's special to say that he needs to start. Perhaps after our next match, I think we play Bristol after Norwich. Let me just double check to see. Yes, we play Bristol after Norwich. That's when we have to make some changes. But going into Norwich, we need to probably use most of the same players we used against Southampton. Okay. He also did mention, Maresca, that Matty Vidua is dropping down the pecking order at the moment of wingers. Not because he's no bad player or anything. He did score important goals for us, important goal for us this season. But he is also not only playing for us, but playing for the under 21s, 23s. So he's still in that rotation. And I don't think yet is getting that affirmative spot for us in the first team. But a current look at the table. Once again, I kind of show you guys the table. But let's take a look and see if there's any difference whatsoever as time went on. And actually, Preston now are in first, Ipswich second. We still remain. Preston are currently beating Birmingham 2-1. Wow. So that's pretty much at 19. So Preston have not lost a match yet. Quite surprising. You'd think Preston would probably lose a match by now, but no, they have not. And so that was Everson's former club 2 seasons ago. So, wow. Yes, that is something that you don't see every day. And that is how it looks at the moment. LCFC 18-4. I don't know why, but I'm so confident. I am too. But of course, it is a championship. We can't just say we're going to win. The confidence is there, yes, but we also must keep our heads on the ground and wait for the match to play on. Harry White, I also think the reason Vestergaard is doing well is because he's in championship level. The Premier League is too hard for him. Maybe. Yes. Let's be honest. We are in the championship. Obviously, it's a different level. But we'll never know until we play a Premier League side, which we will next week against Liverpool. Tough match there. Can't wait for that, though. Very excited for that, especially after we beat Southampton. FDD is class. Without a doubt, is class. Me compared to last season, confidence-wise is crazy. Aggun has been okay. Not good or bad, really. Totally agree. Mavadou is good, too. Yes. Honestly, though, our depth is brilliant. Of course. You said it, Santa Claus. All right. So what's your lineup for tomorrow? Do we go with the same starting 11 that we had against Southampton? Or do we make some major or minor changes? Let me know. Leave it all on the chat or comments below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, new to the stream, and you enjoy the content, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. But going over to my starting 11, what I want to see tomorrow at Carrow Road. Now, we have here almost the same starting 11 that we had against Southampton, but just one minor change, and that is Connor Cody for Jannik Vestergaard. So as you see there, we go with the same 4-3-3. I was going to say before Friday's match, given Ndidi's performance before Southampton, perhaps put him on the bench and put in Cassidy. But when Cassidy came on against Southampton, he kind of didn't have the brightest moments. Of course, his most of the job was him, just doing all the defensive work, the dirty work, and not necessarily nothing, great or fantastic. Especially the fact that Ndidi scored, kind of gives him more say to start against Norwich. But yes, this is my starting 11, what I want to see against Norwich. Let me know your opinions, anything, leave it all in the comments down below. But going into the comments, Santa Claus, what is your lineup? Emerson, Pereira, Cody, Fess, Justin, Winks, KDH, Ndidi, McAteer, Kalichi, and Nacho. Okay, Kalichi and Nacho. For some reason, the reason why I'm not putting Kalichi and Nacho on is because right now Vardy played, not only did he score, but he played so well in that system against Southampton. I think dropping him now, I don't know if that would kind of ruin anything. I think, if anything, I would drop him. I would perhaps put him on the bench for the weekend's match against Bristol. But right now, given that these games were not so long ago, I think keep him. Keep him. Let's see if this system can still work with Vardy, because it was just so well. Mavadidi to Vardy, back to Mavadidi. Mavadidi crossed it in, and just multiple opportunities with Mavadidi, obviously making the runs. Vardy didn't receive a pass from Mavadidi, but, these types of situations where it just worked well for Vardy. He wasn't that player that just wasn't getting the ball, wasn't making any contributions, nothing. He was playing absolutely brilliant, Vardy. That's why I want to keep him. Same thing with McAteer. Now, Fatawu, he's a great winger. I think, he deserves game time, but given, like I said, the whole system, how it has been with Southampton, coming now just barely days apart against Norwich, keep these players playing. And then our next match against Bristol, rotate them. I'll obviously rotate McAteer for Fatawu and Kalichi Nacho for Vardy. So that would be perhaps my decision to make this coming weekend. But as of right now, let's keep it as it is. Only with that one minor change of Connor Cody for Jannik Vestergaard. Now, Fast. That's another good opinion. I mean, good mention you say. Fast. I thought he was going to start against Southampton, and I think he's still he's a good defender. He's played great matches with us. So I don't know. I don't know honestly where Fast goes, but I kind of want to see Connor Cody and see what he's got. And that's why I have him instead. Emerson, JJ, Cody, Doyle, Pereira, Ndidi, Cassidy, Winks, McAteer, Vardy, and Mavadidi. Okay. McAteer is underrated without a doubt, but he's getting there. He's improving. He's just magnificent player. I love Ndidi. Improve. Yes. Improvement. Massive improvement. And the way he just made the third goal. Faking out the defender, that's something that striker would do, and he's not a striker, but he did it. He did it so confidently. Amazing. But now going into score predictions. So what are your score predictions for tomorrow's fixture? trainer there. So, what are your score predictions? Let me know. Give you about 30 seconds to a minute. LCFC 1884. Flossie says 3-0 Leicester City. Okay, wow. Really confident. Really, really confident. I mean, we're not necessarily known for getting clean sheets, and we're playing at Carrow Road against Norwich. So, I'm going to be a bit realistic. I'll try to be a bit realistic. I say it's going to be, say now, 3-1 for the Foxes. I think we may concede, but that doesn't say we'll play a great match, we'll play great football, and score a hefty amount of goals. We could. But that is my score prediction. 3-1 to the Foxes. He says 2-0. Duck 2-1 to be realistic. Yeah, it's always been that 1 goal difference, honestly. But who knows what happened? Who knows what's going to happen? Because I thought it was going to be like 2-1 against Southampton. Ended up being 4-1. So you never know. But yeah, that is all I have for this pre-match review between Norwich and Leicester City. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my time. Let's see what happens. But I'll tell you, we have the momentum. Great match on Friday. So let's keep it up and see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully, come again with another 3 points and then finish off the weekend against Bristol City. So pretty much as of right now, the table still remains. Preston beating Birmingham 2-1. Ipswich in second place, still 1-0 against Southampton. And as of right now, we remain in third place, while Norwich remain in fourth place. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I have. Harry White says 1-0 Leicester. Hopefully not. Hopefully a little bit more. But yes, I'll see you guys next time for the post-match review, which will either be after the match tomorrow or on Thursday. Until then, guys, take care. Adios.